Old Bloke Goes to Ibiza, Part 1. So, going to the Balearic Islands is one of my favourite things to do. I'd visited Mallorca and Menorca many times. In fact, my first ever holidays abroad were to El Arenal in Mallorca. My Aunt Ilse ran a hotel out there called the Los Molinos, and we get spoilt rotten. Extra creme caramels, stuffed toy donkeys, and my first ever guitar. A cheap Spanish job with nylon strings that had all the playing action of a bow and arrow. But great times. So now I'm in Ibiza for the first time. And it's thankfully out of season. San Antonio. Looks like it had been one big disco a few months ago. But now it's like El Arenal back in 1972. Perfect. Especially as I'm here with my mother and father-in-law. My one big frustration is my knee. It's still not right after coming off a ladder the wrong way. And I'm reluctant to run. I keep having runner envy. Maybe tomorrow. I think we should leave a copy of your book here when we go, says my better half. Aye, maybe, I say. But I'm putting the weight back on myself because I can't run. Aye, but look at everyone else here, she says. The British are becoming the new Americans when it comes to being supersized. Keep it down, I say. You've just insulted the whole hotel. But look, she says, look for yourself. And I do. And she's right. All the guys look like I did a year ago. The big beer belly and the moobs, you know. And the women, well, they're keeping up in their own inimitable way. Not everyone. Only about 70%, I would say. And a similar amount are either still smoking or puffing in those Gandalf pipe things that emit more smoke than the flying friggin' Scotsman. You see, my mum put me off cigarettes for life. Thanks, Mum. You see, she smoked 40 a day and only stopped after a heart bypass at the age of 74. I remember her once telling me to go and buy her fags. I was 8. It was the summer of 69. Different days. I said no, because I thought it would make her stink. And guess what? She clattered me. Fair enough, I suppose. As I said, different days. But I loved my mum, and the more I learned about fags, the more I tried to dissuade her. The gigs I played in the 70s, 80s and 90s in a haze of pub smoke. Jings, you wouldn't believe it. Roy Castle comes to mind. Oh, and anyone under 45, better Google him. Anyway, back to Ibiza, and the weather's turned. It's went from a balmy 86 degrees to a freezing cold 70, and there's lightning storms. We seek refuge in a leaky bar, and my mother and father-in-law soon take my advice and we retreat back into the bowels of a deserted club. Mirror balls galore and a 10,000 watt PA still booming out hits from the 80s. We all get stuck in at the bevy and begin jiving. Despite wheelchairs, walking sticks and my gammy knee, we'll have a wee dance in the rain and then wander home, dizzy with the effort or something. Where did you get to? Snaps my better half. You see, she'd already retreated back to the hotel after a brandy and lemonade spill. Awful. Me? What do you mean? I protest. Aye, you've been ages. Well, that's because we were trapped by thunder and lightning, I said, in torrential rain. But I managed to keep your mum and dad safe and happy. Underline happy, she replied. Needs must, I quipped. I even had them dancing, you know. But this falls on unimpressed ears. On the bright side, the wind dies down and it's soon looking good again. A 5-mile walk to the lighthouse the following morning tests my knee and my hangover to the limit, and we end up at the obligatory Chinese restaurant for lunch. It's hard enough to remember my Spanish from my time working in the mainland back in the 90s. When I've got to deal with a hybrid of Chinese, Spanish and English, it gets messy. As a result, the 4 of us end up with enough grub to feed the entire Red Army. And you know something? My father-in-law, who never liked Chinese food till he was 86, finishes the lot. But Wednesday, the weather is calm, so early on, I'll go for a tester 3k run along the beach. It's wonderful to be out in the morning air again, running, exploring, taking it all in. But if you want to know a place, as I say, you've got to run a place. There's much more about that in my book, Old Bloke Goes Running. After a hearty breakfast, it's back off along the promenade again, but this time with mother and father-in-law in tow. I enjoy their company, and I love to hear their old stories. Aye, says my father-in-law. We asked for brandy last night and got a good half pint. Aye, we were a bit tipsy, says my mother-in-law. But it's good to see them out here in Spain in the sun. And soon my father-in-law is telling me the story about his mum, the brandy story. Aye, says, my mum worked at Cameron House in Loch Lomond during the war as a waitress and ended up serving Winston Churchill. Horrible man, she said. I tried to pour my brandy and he tipped my elbow, forced me to pour him more. I love this. It seems to me that Churchill was permanently pissed all through the war. He used to start a day at 7 a.m. with a whiskey. Geez, all that misguided bravado. Maybe it helped. There is, of course, that famous quote when he and Lady Astor, you know, the one born in America, the one that was the first female UK MP to take a seat in the House of Commons, well, they had a wee exchange, you know. She said, "You, Mr. Churchill, are drunk. And you, Lady Astor, are ugly, but I shall be sober in the morning," he retorted. I've seen the pics, and Churchill was at order. She wasn't that bad looking. Anyway, where am I? Oh aye, Ibiza. Sitting in the porch of our hotel with my father-in-law, who has just nodded off. And I'm looking up at a wonderful Apello pine tree. That's over 80 foot tall. And a ring of common lantana bushes that surround its base. They're all different colours, these bushes. Fantastic. The flowers actually change colour as they mature. And they're one of the few plants that actually repel mosquitoes. Others being citronella, lemongrass and geraniums. I reckon, as things hot up, you know, we'll have mosquitoes in Scotland. The Asian tiger mosquito is one of the main disease-transmitting mosquitoes. It can give you Zika, dengue fever and West Nile virus. And it's a no-brainer that with temperatures expected to be around 1 degree higher by 2040, that the wee pest could go on the rampage here too. Well, here's a wee nugget for you. Scotland only physically joined onto England 430 million years ago. That big crunch formed the Scottish Highlands. You see, we once sat on the equator. Now I'm talking by this time it's, 350 million years ago, when Scotland was actually part of a landmass called Euramerica. I like that. Euramerica, no. It was hot, around 30 Celsius, and there were lush green ancient forests full of giant scorpions and centipedes. Fair enough. When the mosquitoes arrived about 100 million years ago, and that's when they kind of evolved into being mosquitoes, Scotland was partly covered by shallow sea. But there's a good chance that mosquitoes thrived here back then in the Cretaceous period. Wait a minute. Where am I? Oh aye, 2019. And where am I? In Ibiza. Get back on track, man. See what happens when I have too much time on my hands. While I'm here, I have, of course, had to deal with a few requests. You see, Saga magazine may want me to do a wee article on Old Bloke Goes running. And I'm dealing with Western Bartonshire Council, Reference Book Week, that's November, and an appearance at the Alexandria Library on the 20th of November, that is, about 7 o'clock if you're interested. What else have I got on? Oh aye, I've been asked to record a theme tune for a soon-to-be-launched TV Ghost series. On top of that, I'm doing this. I'm also writing my Old Bloke Goes campervanning book, which is the next one that's to come out, and I'm working on a new screenplay. Oh aye, and I'm on holiday. Anyway, listen, that's enough for part 1. I'll get back to you soon with part 2. Until then, if anyone's listening, ciao for now.